Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review for Call of the Night, episode 11. And this episode, I thought this was the first time it was getting pretty serious, because throughout the whole episode, not to get me wrong, all episodes 1 through 10 have been really great up to this point, like how with some comedies, bits of levity, or a little bit of drama here and there. But then into this episode, when you get introduced to another new character, human, but which I will get to though. But just give me a second here. Like once again, I hate doing this. Okay, yeah. But episode 11 though. First we see with Ko with Nazuna back at her place, and since she got some money paid for doing doing the job at the maid cafe, got her a little thinking she can do more money on the top of with her cuddle buddy business. She was able to buy a bed, some new clothes, a little bit more furniture, a stereo, a few more accessories to brighten up her room, right? So. And so she was able to hit all that by herself because she made more money though, and which was nice. But it's funny that after that little moment with her, we don't get to see her after that though, which was kind of change of pace now because the rest of the episode is just with Ko back with his two friends he knew from childhood, back from elementary school, back with he was spending time with Akira and Mahiru, Mahiru called both of them, and they wanted to hang out just like how they used to from back then. Just the three of them. And I thought it was nice. Ko now was hanging out with the only two friends that he knew from back when he was little, and they wanted to go and they were just sitting around talking on the playground, and then all of a sudden, they want to sneak into the school late at night. Then when the school's closed, they want to sneak. They want to sneak into the school late at night. And they're talking about the seven wonders of their school, the mysterious things that happens at their school, right? And when they hop over the gate, then Akira, she's fine when she's on top of the gate. He's like, "Okay, tell the other two boys, can you turn around? I'm wearing a skirt." And they both have that look. And but before when Ko hangs out with his two friends, he gets approached by this woman who's on this. Well, he was walking on this bridge. He's approached by this woman, like kneeling down, like in a squatting position, smoking, and is like because Nazo told Ko to try to find some people for more of her cuddle buddy business, right? And he was like, when he was talking to her, he was like, "Oh, are you hitting on me?" He got all nervous, and all that. and so we introduced to this woman by the name of Anko. So they're talking at a cafe, and tells her what she does. She's a detective. She's a detective, and she's been going around talking about some missing persons, and that's where he gets some people in intel, about some missing persons. And then when he brings up about Akun, which if you recall, Akun was the stalker in episode 9, that fell in love with Sari, and which Sari made him her offspring in episode 9, right? And so she showed him the picture of Akun, and he just all of a sudden just freaked out. And then all of a sudden Akun just grabs him so suddenly, make it seem like he knew something about him. But of course the woman is like, "Oh, okay, I must have been mistaken. So here, take my card. If you find anything else, just let me know." So obviously I already knew this woman is knowing a little more than she's letting on, right? And then we're back with Ko and his two friends, like sneaking late at night going in the school late in the middle of the night, right? And they're talking about the seven wonders, like the mysterious things happening at their school, and they bring up this story about this teacher who went missing 10 years ago. And then when they open one of the classroom doors, into one of the classrooms, they see a figure standing there right in the middle of the classroom, and it's a guy, older guy, and then all of a sudden he turns around saying, he can't help, which he can't help himself. He needs blood now, and he says, "Oh, you shouldn't have come here this late. You shouldn't have come here this hour." And then he says, "Oh, I want the girl." So this guy is a vampire, which he just starts lunging at them, takes pins Akira down to the ground. Basically, he's just drooling all over her face. About to suck her blood, right? And which this totally surprises Ko, because the only time saw vampire light was like this was when Nazna when she took Sari's arm off when he first met her. Nazna took her arm off, right? Show how powerful vampires are, though. But the thing is, though, from this, for what was happening right here, because he was like so frozen and completely shocked at what was happening, Mahiru, he's telling Ko, do something, and all that stuff. But he's just frozen in fear because this is the first time he's actually seen a vampire act so viciously. Which of course, if anyone else as well, if you've seen other movies, which this guy probably hasn't though, if you've seen movies how vampires are nothing but cold-blooded killers, right? They just want to suck your blood and that's it, right? But this completely shocks him. He's frozen because he hasn't seen a vampire act like this before, which this kind of brings him to seeing the other side of vampires, because the vampires he's met are girls and they're acting all lovey-dovey and cutesy and all that though. But here's a guy who's a vampire, is viciously trying to attack and basically trying to kill one of his friends. So this is like he's now experiencing the, well, you say the upside, now you can say experience the downside of vampires. Upside, downside, or the good side of vampires, or the evil side of vampires now, right? So, and then finally does something he takes a chair and just goes and smacks the vampire in the face, and then all of a sudden, the woman, Akun, appears, and say, "Oh, you want blood? Here, you can take my blood." And which she voluntarily does. She falls, and then he goes after her, sucks her blood though. But the thing is, though, her blood has been tainted. I forget what whatever the reason was, like, because her blood tasted foul or disgusting, and I forget what the reason was. But thing is, though, this guy, this vampire, right? Is that it turns out this guy, he was the teacher that went missing 10 years ago. And the thing is, though, he hasn't I think the reason was because for 10 straight long years since he became a vampire, because he accidentally fell in love with one, he was tricked basically, and because he didn't know that she was a vampire. So when she made him to a when he fell in love and became a vampire himself, though, he felt like he was deceived, and he became a monster to himself. So ever since then, for 10 years, hasn't once drink a single drop of blood at all. He was basically trying to starve himself, basically, because he hasn't drank a single blood because he's been restraining himself for 10 long years. So maybe that's part of the reason why her Akun's blood has tasted pretty foul, because he's been a vampire for so long. He didn't know what. Even first time tasting blood, it tasted disgusting because he's restrained himself for so long. I think that was the reason. And Aku's has also been following up on this guy as well. So, and he kind of he feels kind of sorry for the guy, but at the same time he's like playing it very cold in a way. For what I see from her attitude and all that stuff, she kind of feels sorry for the guy, but sometimes she's acting a little bit cold at the same time. and she gives him this silver ring, has him holding his hand. You know what? It's basically, it's a way. You know how a way what Blaze said in the first movie to his mother, "I'm gonna set you free," right? In this way, it's her way of telling of basically of setting him free now, having him die as a human. So he has him hold on to this ring, and as the sunrise comes up, for a brief moment as he was fading away to dust, he murmured something. We didn't hear it though. Maybe it was a way of saying, I guess he was saying thank you, I guess. Thank you. And then he just withers away to dust now. And she tells him, and you ever seen a vampire before? And he's telling Ko, she's telling Ko, like, you know nothing about vampires. And basically, and he gives also Mahira and Akira her card as well. If you know anything about vampires, let me know. And just telling Ko, that you know nothing about vampires, and I will not have you have that dream, not let you have that dream of yours. So she's been kind of knows about how vampires work. So she basically, when she said he's not gonna have that dream of his, she's not gonna let him become a vampire. She's not gonna let him become a vampire. So she knows all about that falling in love stuff, right? And also basically, and then she goes and walks away, and then when Ko leaves, he walks into the sunrise, he sounds very depressed and saying, I know nothing. He does know nothing about vampires, because that what happened with that vampire guy, the missing teacher, right? What he saw, though, just really shocked him, because that's basically the other evil side of vampires he has not seen before. The sudden drive to really drink someone's blood and basically kill them as well. Which that completely shocked him, so it shows him that he knows nothing about vampires. And with I think after this, I thought there was 12 episodes. Maybe there's 13 episodes to this season. So we'll see more of Akun as well, because this shows that she definitely knows about the vampires, and I guess now she, as a detective, she's using herself to hunt down vampires. So I'm really just saying, okay, this character throws in what's the term? A wedge. She's a wedge in this this world of vampires now. She knows about the vampires, and she wants to basically. She's been investigating, so she basically wants to hunt down vampires, and she knows about the thing about falling in love with them, which is why she told Ko, "I will not let you have that dream of yours." Like I said, she's a private investigator, a private detective. She's a private detective. That's what she does. So, yeah, this is why I thought this is the first one it was getting very serious, because seeing the very dark, evil side of what vampires do, and throwing with her now, and as I thought it was a very first time, being very serious at the moment in this point in the series now. So I think I said there was 12 episodes, so I think there's 13. I think so. If that is 2 more episodes to go, or 1 if I'm wrong, but I do hope this will get us. I just do hope, because the way things are going right now, there has to be room for a second season. Now, which I have started collecting the mangas of Call of the Night, which I have not fully read because I want to get all the volumes so I can read them all at once. So if this season ends and then we'll go up to get a certain part of the manga where there's still more afterwards, they have to have room for a second season. They have to, because now I do thoroughly enjoy this series. I do, and if this case the way it ends, the way it is. Hopefully, which leaves the cliffhanger for another season. They have to have a second season, because the way things are going, how is this going to end with just 1 or 2 episodes left, right? So yeah, the show's been really interesting, and interested in these characters. I've enjoyed with Ko's progression all the way up to this point. So now seeing how he knows nothing about vampires, seeing how the other side of vampires can be, right? And also, it was the first time. It was nice to see them hang out with the 2 friends. The only 2 friends he had since elementary school. Hanging them, this is 3 of them together, taking pictures of them, having a good time. I really enjoy these characters, and like I said, Ko has really progressed ever since the first episode. He really has. And also, I remember once again, I mentioned the animation looks really is beautiful because I think the animation, what I think we enjoyed most of this in the animation is when Anko shows up, it has like this sort of like this brown filter. Actually, it kind of because the way it looked though with the animation, like I didn't say brown, it kind of looked brown, but in a way, it was kind of like it was trying to be like black and white whenever she was around. You know, like those good old fashioned Sherlock Holmes, prime example. Sherlock Holmes, you know, the one I love with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, right? You know, those old detectives, right? I get a sense of feeling they're trying to be like, whenever Anko is around, this way the animation filter looked, you know, as if they're trying to be like a black and white setting, you know, like an old detective, right? One of those old detective movies, and that she was trying to do, you know, like the old detective, the old smoking detective, you know, figuring the mysteries out, you know, like her when she was around, like whenever she's around, especially in the when she was in the school, you know, we're dealing with the vampire teacher, right? It was like, you know, the way the animation looked when she was around is how the way the animation looked, like, say it was trying to be like, you know, like those old detective black and white movies, right? Like with Sherlock Holmes, right? I really enjoyed that. If that was an intention case, I really enjoyed that because, hey, like I said, it was trying to be like ode to that though. I love Sherlock Holmes. Me and my dad will watch all 13 of those movies of Sherlock Holmes. Me and my dad love Basil Rathbone. He's the best, easily hands down the best Sherlock Holmes there is, and so is Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. You know, me and my dad just will watch whenever my dad would say, hey, let's watch one of the Sherlock Holmes movies, I say yes in a heartbeat. Because that's one of the things that me and my dad love watching together, is the old Sherlock Holmes movies. All the Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce movies. Sherlock Holmes, the best Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. You know, from The Secret Weapon, The Voice of Terror, The Scarlet Claw, House of Fear, The Pearl of Death, The Secret Weapon, of course the classic Hounds of the Baskervilles, Dressed to Kill, and all of the old Sherlock Holmes films from back then. So me and my dad will easily watch anytime, anywhere, any date time. We will watch it. If he says, "Hey, let's watch Sherlock Holmes," I say yes in a heartbeat. I'm always down to watch a good old Sherlock Holmes movie with my father. So, but it was trying to be like, you know, one of those old nods to like how when Anko was around, like the animation made it look so stunning when she was around, right? Trying to be like a black and white, well, even though it wasn't, like gray brownish type of filter, you know, it was trying to resemble like how in those old detectives films, right? Of course, because she is a detective, right? So, if that was the case, I really enjoyed that. That's one thing I enjoyed about it. So, and like I said, this ever since we in this episode of seeing Nazna get all stuff in her apartment, she hasn't appeared at the rest of this episode at all, which is kind of nice change in pace, you know, right? So, and then introducing of Anko, the private detective / basically vampire hunter. Private detective / vampire hunter. We're seeing how the rest of the, like I said, 1 or 2 more episodes to go, so 12 or 13 episodes, so really interested how the next one's gonna go. So yeah, definitely give thumbs up to this episode as well. I think up to this point it's become my favorite episode. I think episode 9 I thought was my favorite, you know, with Sari and with her relationship with Aku, you know. But then I think after this point with Anko and everything else, I think this become my next favorite episode of this series. So yeah, I've really enjoyed Call the Night. This episode was, I think it's now become my next favorite episode now. But yeah, that's episode 11 for Call of the Night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'm still continuing on as I'm still pre-recording my videos for Halloween month, so I'm still getting to those now still. But all that's gonna come when October comes, so hopefully we're ready for those. So, but as of right now, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode review and more other videos, and we'll see you next time.